This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Welcome to the I Can't Sleep podcast with Benjamin Boster. If you're tired of sleepless nights, you'll love the I Can't Sleep podcast. I help quiet your mind by reading random articles from across the web to bore you to sleep with my soothing voice. Each episode provides enough interesting content to hold your attention, and then your mind lets you drift off. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. That's I Can't Sleep with Benjamin Boster.
Stuck in the J.O.B. Can someone set me free? I've had enough of this. This life is meaningless.
Hey, this is Dan Miller, host of the 48 Days to the Work You Love podcast. Here's a sample listener question. Dan, I barely graduated from college with a 2.4 GPA. 2 job failures have now ended my career with irreversible damage. I'm back living with my parents and have decided that aiming for nothing will at least lessen my disappointment. Are you kidding me? Irreversible damage? Those failed jobs are probably the best part of your education. Do you know the average GPA of millionaires in America is 3.7? Instead of going to grad school or getting a fancy job, they figured out something they were passionate about and knocked it out of the park. Every week, we unpack listener questions and find creative solutions for finding or creating work that is fulfilling, purposeful, and profitable. Check it out on the 48 Days to the Work You Love podcast.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And this is our Shorty for February.
Yeah.
Yes. The Shorty for the short month.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going into our second month of the year. Can you believe it?
Ugh. No.
It's
It's been the longest
It's
year
not still December.
January so far. Wow. Well, that just gave away when we're recording this. But January has been such a long month.
Well, that's that Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, friends. Pew,
Yeah.
pew, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew.
this was the longest work week of my life. I'm like, why? We're recording this on a Thursday, and I'm like, how is it not over yet? I don't understand.
No.
I have to discuss something that I'm highly embarrassed about.
Oh.
And that is that I stole my goddamn Christmas tree up.
You know what? You're not the only one.
So much Christmas decorations still.
Yeah, there was a real vibe whenever I was walking to the grocery store the other day, and I walked by our neighbors who own a house, and this woman was walking outside in her pajamas, had her hose slides on, had her house shoes on, and she had her real live tree was dead, completely dead, and she was holding. I'm like, either she's really strong or that tree is hollow because it's completely dead. And she had it with one hand and was just shoving it into the trash can. It's just a real energy.
It's true though. I have seen a lot of trees on the street this week.
Yeah,
and this is the second or third week of January.
Yeah, and real trees, I'm like, those are dead. I saw some that were just taken out today, and I'm like, those were in your house?
Yes.
They're completely brown.
The amount of vacuuming.
Yeah,
that's going to be necessary in your house right now.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty proud of myself. I managed to do that. I think New Year's Day. I just got it done. Because I think nothing depresses me more than old Christmas decorations. There's something about having Christmas up when you're in the misery mid-January that's just
I love the lights. Honestly, if I could keep a Christmas tree up year round, and you know me, this is the reason I don't do it, because then I'm like, I never want to take it down.
Well, you can decorate with lights. I leave, or I left this year, I've got LED lights that I just left out there. I took away, because I put them up around all my Christmas decorations. I took all the Christmas decorations away, and then I just shoved all the lights in a terrarium.
Yeah.
And turned it on, and it gives you that nice glow.
It's Higa.
Oh yes, it's that like cozy feeling. But no,
Fairies are around you. That's what that means, right?
I was good. I took all of my stuff down on my own, like the week after Christmas.
That's what I don't like about it as well. I feel like it's such a lone holiday. If you're the woman in the house, I feel like this happens to you a lot. Moms, this falls on you. Like, you're putting up the tree, you're managing the decorations, you're taking all the shit down. This is why for years I did not fucking decorate.
I hear ya.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not the only one that lives in this goddamn house. Y'all can be taking down the Christmas tree too.
I think that does happen. You know, one time I went home for my birthday, which is at the end of March, and my mom still had her Christmas tree up.
Oof.
And I think that they left it up like through Easter.
Oh.
And then like took it down.
Too long.
But it's way too long. It's
too long.
way too long. But in my mom's defense, house full of men, and I don't think anybody helps her put up or take down any of the Christmas stuff.
That makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Like, you live here too.
Yeah.
Anyone else has full permission to take down, put up, do all those things.
Well, that's such a larger topic. What is it on TikTok? Kin keeping or whatever, the unspoken labor that women are often responsible for around the house. I mean, it's beyond Christmas decorations, but it's like what it takes to actually run a household beyond just maybe doing a load of dishes is mostly falls in our psyche, in our mind. It's our responsibility, because otherwise it wouldn't get done. And that's...
I mean, luckily, like, Anthony does the laundry a lot of the time, and stuff like that. We do try to have like an equitable division of labor in our house, but we are hardwired like not to expect that. Like, we definitely don't expect that. Like, going.
Well, I didn't mean to get on this topic, but now that we're on this topic, things that also happen that I feel are weirdly inequitable, and that is when I fly with Chris. One of the things that we do is I'll take the aisle seat and he'll take the window seat. And then if a stranger gets filled in, a stranger gets fucking filled in. I'm not taking a middle seat. And he always acts like, he's like, oh, you're not going to just move over and let that person sit in your seat? Aren't you going to goddamn
move over? You
can fucking move over.
Yeah.
Why is it got to be me?
Yeah.
Why don't you sit your happy ass in the middle seat? You love it so much. You seem so excited about it. Why do I got to move?
No.
And I feel like this last trip was the first time when we went to fucking New Orleans, this was the last trip that I was like, finally said something like, why I have to always be the one? And then everybody looking at me like I'm like, oh, why wouldn't you want to move?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to
You're
sit
so
beside each other?
selfish.
Don't you guys like each other? Mind your business, motherfucker.
Also, it's a couple
I like
hours.
An aisle seat. I live with him. I
Yeah,
can see him. I can lay next to him tonight.
I see this person all the time.
All
it's
the time.
fine. And literally we're still within like arm's reach distance of each other.
And what are we going to be doing? It's not like we're going to make out the whole flight.
Right? Which gross
However,
if you were.
I have to say, this is so funny. This happens to be you're like, are you guys watching my TikTok feed? Because this is a huge argument.
Oh,
'Cause people fucking hate sitting in between a couple.
sorry.
Well,
And it's
I
like,
mean, we're not like this either. We're
No,
not like
I
chit-chatting
mean,
across
no.
people.
Yeah.
We're-
I literally, that would be like my nightmare.
Chris
honestly.
usually falls asleep.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Chris usually falls asleep. That's why he likes a window seat.
But you
Yeah.
know
I'm not even
what?
talking to him.
In fairness, though, like, you run the risk of having an uncomfortable flight if you're in the middle period.
Yeah.
Because you
Right.
don't know what you're in
Right.
the middle of. Like, you know, so it's just like, it's not for me. I'm like, it's not that much worse to be in between a couple than it would be to be in between any other random people.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of people were giving flack about it because like there were some travel people that were like, here's the tip, have one person book the window and one person book the aisle, and maybe then that middle won't get booked and blah blah
well,
blah.
I mean, when I'm picking my
the risk you
seats,
take.
yeah,
Of course, it's likely to get booked.
yeah.
Yeah.
I plan on
Whenever
it.
I am buying my seats to travel, I'm getting ready to travel. I always pick a seat, usually the window, but like, or the aisle, when the other one is already selected, because you can see which seats are selected.
Right.
So I do that on purpose so that like maybe someone won't buy the middle seat. Like, I think
Sure.
people do that in general. And I understand it. It's like, yeah, if you're sitting in between a couple that's being real like lovey-dovey, mushy,
or talking
fucking
to each
weird.
other a lot, or exchange
Over
doing a lot
you,
of
yes.
or
But-
trying to pass things
but
over
that
top of you.
shit-
That's bullshit. I
That
hate
shit
that.
is
Yeah.
bad etiquette on a plane,
Yeah.
period. Like, you
Right.
shouldn't be doing that shit.
Yeah, keep
I
your
am
shoes on and don't pass your shit over top of me.
Still scarred by the guy who reached over me to open the window.
Listen,
Still scarred by it.
Listen.
I think about it all the
the
time.
thing, the way that I'd be like, sir, no,
What?
fuck you, no, absolutely not, absolutely
yeah,
not.
yeah. People do not know how to behave,
No.
and it's only getting worse because like the airline situation
Oof,
is so
it ain't great.
I'll
tell you tomorrow.
I'm ready. I'm ready for teleportation for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, aren't we
Yeah,
all?
I mean, I'm not gonna be a part of like the alpha group, but
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
beta
yeah.
that
yeah,
shit for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
you're gonna get like pieces of your body parts left
I
behind.
don't have a pinky anymore, but
Still worth it not to fly Spirit.
Spirit Airlines.
I'm a Spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, I don't have a pinky anymore, but
yeah, you're gonna get
I didn't have to fly
spliced.
Spirit.
Isn't that what they call it in Harry Potter? Whenever they're trying to like
Splice or
travel, yeah.
Oh,
and
I
they-
think so.
if they don't make it all the way through, they get like that
They
part of their
deform,
body gets
yeah.
like fucked up. Yeah, so it's gonna happen. No, I feel like we were promised teleportation.
Yeah, flying cars.
Flying cars, jetpacks.
Yes.
Where the fuck are our jetpacks? This is some
Honestly.
bullshit. Like honestly,
we would all be dead if there were
You like-
jetpacks
we are
available.
not
No.
mature enough as a
No,
species.
this society is not prepared for a jetpack.
Where's my hoverboard?
Yeah,
Yes, like
yeah.
a legit hoverboard.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We put a man on the moon like
And I don't got no-
forever
so
ago.
long ago,
And they did it with the computational power of a fucking calculator.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, of
So-
a group of black women with a pad of paper and a pencil.
Put a fucking dude on the moon. Where are our hoverboards?
I don't know.
That
You're
is
right.
the main question.
You are
Are-
so right.
Well, here's the question: do we have enough black women in the sciences? I think maybe we need to start getting
yeah,
more.
get them on it. Get
Yeah.
them on it. Like put them on the job. I feel like
Yeah.
that's
I
what's
mean-
really missing here. Put them in charge.
I want
That's
that
right.
that what's her face from the Jetsons, the robot
Yeah.
maid.
yeah,
Yeah.
100. iRobot is not enough. No, I
No.
wanted the actual like
Yeah.
full-sized Rosie
yeah.
does all the
Yeah.
shit, wipes up the baseboards.
My animals would hate it, but
Did you see somebody on TikTok revealed like they did like the work and revealed like the ages of all the Jetsons, and it's like George Jetson is like 20 years older than Judy Jetson, and like if you do the backwards math, it's like they got married when she was like 16 or
Wait,
17,
what?
and you're like, what?
Ooh.
I
Oh no, problematic
Scandalous.
cartoons.
Scandalous.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, anybody got a would you rather for today? We're talking about like future stuff.
Oh
Mm.
gosh.
I mean,
what future gadget would you rather? Would you rather have your Rosie the robot, or do you want your hoverboard?
flying car. I'm not allowed to get on things that propel me faster than I can go due to the whole lazy eye situation.
Mm.
So, skateboards,
Yeah.
skis, all those things
Yeah.
are off limits
Mhm.
to me. So I'm sure hoverboard fits in that category.
Mm.
At least with the flying car, it feels like there's protection. I feel like I'd be
Mm.
allowed to
Question: How does traffic work
In the sky?
in the sky?
It never made sense to me either.
Right? Because I'm just like
do
we.
that. How does it work on the ground? we live in LA.
But,
Jesus,
I mean,
it doesn't.
you are not wrong. You're not wrong about
I
that.
saw
Like
Fifth Element. I don't know.
we will fuck shit up. But yeah, at least there's roads though. So you like have
Mhm.
you have a basic guideline about like
Mhm.
what you're supposed to be doing. Like in the air,
Oh, that's a mess. It's waiting to
How-
happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like that maybe that's why we don't have flying
That's-
cars
yeah.
is because like we can't
No
figure out
regulation.
How
air
to police
traffic.
the air? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, it really would be if it had to be like self-driving or some sort of like robot thing.
Mhm.
'Cause I can't. I've tried to play Flight Simulator. Number one, it's boring. Number two,
Yes.
it's like impossible. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
know. Okay, so wait, we're talking
Do you want? Do you want?
like robot help, like real robot help,
Right.
not like my Roomba.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do love my.
I mean,
Roomba,
I do
though.
too. Like, no shade. I hope my
Yeah.
Roomba didn't hear me because, like, no shade
Yeah.
to my Roomba.
My room's name's Roy. so-
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. I should.
You don't name
mine.
yours?
No, Jesus.
Oh, I even will tell my house person robot, like, hey, start Roy.
Oh gosh,
Mm.
yeah, I feel like that's robot abuse on my part.
Yeah.
I should maybe not have a robot. I'm gonna go with flying car here. Because here's the thing. Even though, do I think I'm going to die in a flying car related accident? Definitely. Do I already have driving anxiety? Yes. Do I also have anxiety because I saw iRobot way too young? And I'm like, I don't think... it took me long enough to use Siri or Alexa in my house because I was so like, nah, I don't like going down this road. You know how I feel about AI.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Thank you.
I'm very nervous about it. The robots are going to take over. The way I would be so fucking nice to that robot.
Oh, yeah. Like a family member.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I feel like also too, we're thinking of flying cars very high in the sky. What if they were only medium high?
Then they chop people's heads off, run into trees. I mean, like, what medium?
I mean, yeah,
high?
you gotta
be
get
taller than like the fucking wires.
Gotta
and
get
houses.
up taller than a
That's
tree.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
for sure.
You could put like a parachute or something in the driver's seat so that you're hatched in,
Oh,
and if
no.
something happens, the parachute automatically.
There you
See,
go.
I just feel
Kinda like Top
the
Gun.
risk you're taking here feels like a lot, but at the same time, a risk in my home or risk on those streets. I'll take the risk on the streets.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up with Rosie over top of me, eyes
just
glowing,
looking at you.
fucking pissed off, you know, because I didn't do the dishes or something. You know, like
Yeah.
that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I'm very nice to my Siri and my Alexa. I always say please.
Yeah. I don't know about a jetpack or gosh.
If it was teleportation, I would risk getting spliced.
Teleportation, I'd be soups into.
Yeah.
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 I just I imagine now my car like going over the hill, like to the valley in Los Angeles. Like, how does that work? I just have a lot of questions about how this flying car works. And is it really just get a helicopter?
I mean, there's too many people in this city. Also, like, what are the emissions on that? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
I
What's
mean,
the
did I
environmental
invent
impact?
it
Can you
over
get
here?
a-
Oh, it's
a l-
hydrogen powered. Great. So
Can
it's
you get an
completely
electric-
green.
Oh, perfect. I love it even more.
It's a
Definitely.
hydrogen powered flying car that you don't have to air traffic control. It automatically just knows how to get you from A to B.
You know what I really wish? I just wish the city had better transit.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
It was
So I don't even
designed
need,
to be shitty.
You know what? I don't want a robot. I don't want a flying car.
I want high speed rail.
I want
All I want
that
for Christmas
rail.
is-
I want
yeah.
I want a
Mhm.
nice.
To be honest, I mean, they did promise us that. They were like,
Yeah.
you can get from LA to San Francisco in 30 minutes. And I'm like, where the fuck is my high speed
Where is it?
train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what did you
Wouldn't
guys
open.
didn't decide?
Oh, I'm
What
getting
are
the
you
maid.
doing?
100%.
Oh, you getting the maid? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want a clean house. And she'll know who's boss.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
see,
gotta be honest. If I
famous
had
last
to choose, I would
words,
probably choose that
Christina.
too. If I had to choose, I'd probably choose that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I want that clean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm lazy.
And I mean, I just
trust
put it
it.
in a locked closet when she's done.
That is the worst thing you can
Well,
do.
Just night. It's just sleepy
No,
times.
that
just power down.
Yeah.
And you can always unplug and then plug it back in if things get hairy.
That's right.
That's what you do with technology.
That's it.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows that.
Turn it off. Turn it back on.
It's very IT
Obviously.
forward.
Reboot. Control Alt Delete.
Exactly. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And we're back. Okay. I will kick us off with stories. She started talking about her life story from childhood to that day,
Ooh.
Feels like a lot.
year by year,
Oh.
with every single traumatic story and emotion.
Oh.
That was our first ever date, and she didn't even let me speak for the duration. I was like, oh, okay. She is now talking about high school. 6 more years left. Hold tight.
Oh, my
Oh.
God. What are you,
you
doing? Like an American master's on
No
like
shit.
A&E biography?
I was born on a shady farm in Georgia.
Little accompaniment.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
wow.
Be like, I'm sorry. I thought you think I'm like Ken Burns or
Yeah,
something.
I don't care. No one cares.
No.
Better that she did it like I wonder if she did it like third person. Like
Oh,
Cassie
gosh.
was born in a small town.
To a father
and just
who
like
worked on the
tape
rails.
and a
Yeah.
like bring up a tape deck.
It's awesome.
I think I want to write that movie. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I'll go next. Met at a train station. Walked around for about 10 minutes. What I didn't realize is he was walking me back to the other side of the train station. And when the train arrived, he was like, okay, you can go now.
What?
So I left.
What? Wait, they had arranged a date and they met at the train
Met at the
station.
train station.
And then he's like,
He walked around 5-10 minutes.
Took one look at her and was
He's
like, no.
bye bye.
Go up this side, and then we go down around the corner and come back
No,
down.
that's
Ooh,
awful.
That's awkward.
I love that the person was just like, okay. Just
right,
got back on
fuck
the
it.
train.
I guess we're doing this. Okay. I had been on a couple of dates with this young woman before and went to pick her up after work one Friday. From the moment she came to the door, she was giving me a hard time about whatever she could think of, sometimes teasing, other times not. We got in the car, and as we started off, I told her I'd had a really bad day and would like to just have a relaxing evening together.
Oh, no.
Her immediate response was, "Oh, poor baby, have a bad day. Boo-hoo."
Oh, my God. Did she?
I would fucking lose
I just want to listen. Listen.
shit.
I just want to have a really chill night. Oh, I'm sorry to have a bad day.
The way that triggers me in a way I wasn't expecting at all right now, like that, there must be some deep core memory that
Yeah,
that just sparked in me. 'Cause I was like, I was about to swing.
Yeah. No,
I would be
this is
mad.
not okay. Yeah, if someone did that to me, that would be a deal breaker.
I
Like,
think
you
you're having a-
seriously
wait.
ask somebody to
And
do
you're
it.
having a bad day.
I'm having a bad day.
If I'm having a bad day, just
ain't
like
it.
getting my shirt sleeve stuck in the door can
Oh
send me
my
over.
God.
Like there is.
Why'd that trigger me so fucking hard? I
No,
was
it
like,
is. It is never. You never get your shirt caught on the door when you're having a good day.
No.
100% of the times you're caught on the door, it's when it's the last fucking thing
Yeah.
you can deal
the
with.
resort. the
It's
last
true.
straw.
Yeah, yeah. It's whenever you drop your toast, like, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're like, why am I crying?
Yep.
Like, why am I crying?
Yeah, this is the
There's
last
more
thing.
bread.
Oh,
Like,
poor baby. Just like what? So he says, I stopped, backed up the half block to her home. He's like, looking over.
I love that. He's like, no.
Told her to get out. She was hesitant, trying to say she was just joking, to which I told her again to get out. And when she did, I
Look,
left.
it really speaks to like your sense of humor and someone else's sense of humor. One needs to be in alignment.
Yeah.
Two, time and place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read the fucking
Read
room.
the room.
Because like sometimes like being silly like that is okay, and
Right.
like
Sure.
sometimes it's really not, and other times maybe that person just really don't play like that at all.
Also, yeah, if you're going on like a first date, you don't know any of that information.
No.
So just like err on the side of just being polite.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
super-
so mad.
Wow. Wow.
Oh Jesus. Okay. All right, this is a bit of a longer one. I was set up by my friend's girlfriend, shown a picture, and said, sure, she was good looking, and I liked the girl's other friends that I had met. She couldn't be too bad, right? I call her and set up the day and time for pickup at her house. We both were still living with our parents. I arrive to pick her up, and there she is with her parents and brother sitting around the kitchen table just talking. I get a bad vibe from everyone but her when she introduces me. On the way to dinner, I mention the tension I felt from them all. She says it's because she just broke up with her boyfriend a few weeks ago. Her family loved him, and they were
Ugh.
all upset that she was dating someone else.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's not the room you want to walk into.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, I can see that. Maybe they'll get over it and like me once they get to know me if we date for a while. Later on, I ask her about her brother. No brothers. Okay, cousin? No boy cousins that she's close to.
No.
What about the guy with her parents when I came to pick her up?
No.
That was her ex.
No.
There
No.
to have dinner with her parents.
No.
Wow.
They have had him over several times a week since the breakup, trying to get them back together. And had
No.
made sure he was there when I arrived.
Listen.
It's like the
Mom
son.
and Dad.
It's like the son I never had.
Oh,
Get out of my
Get
fucking life.
out.
Get out
Also,
of
that
my
boyfriend
dreams.
is weird for continuing to be like, this is fine.
Yeah, what's his situation?
I
'Cause
don't
that-
know.
Well, I mean, if
He
he's
maybe
really
didn't-
trying to get her back
didn't
or
want the
what have
breakup.
you,
Oh,
it's
man.
so awkward.
no.
That ain't it. I'll tell you what, that ain't it.
Mm-mm.
That ain't gonna
Also,
win you back.
Whenever she told him, like, my parents, like, really liked my ex-boyfriend, she didn't think, like, the guy you met inside.
Thank you.
What?
Don't. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
weird.
don't even want to have to be the one who brought that up.
Mm-mm.
I want you to tell me as soon as we get in the car, like, oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. I got ambushed.
There you go.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
better
I
way
did
to handle
not-
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at me. It's called, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, communication.
Mm.
Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Look into it.
There we go.
Read it in a book. All right. So this one is, it was a short coffee date. Went well. I thought because he couldn't stop looking at me or at me and my smile. End of the day, he said I had something between my teeth and was so distracted by it, he didn't recall anything I said. He ghosted soon after. It just reminds me about when
The cilantro.
To this day, what I am sure is the reason why I'm not on Daily Zeitgeist. To this day, it's that fucking piece of cilantro.
goddamn cilantro.
God damn it.
No, but also again, just communication.
Just
Just be
say
like,
something.
hey, you gotta
Got a little.
Mm.
Also, yeah, it's just like, oh, he thinks my smile's so enchanting. It's like, oh, no, honey.
It's like spinach.
Just staring directly at your smile.
Oh no. Okay. Met a guy at a bar who one-upped me on
Oh.
everything. I sell custom cakes. He trained as a chef in France. I'm a master gardener. He's won awards for his
Okay.
garden.
Let me see him. Pull him up.
I raise show chickens and meat chickens. He only eats meat he butchered himself. And I'm doing it wrong because I pay someone to butcher for me.
Oh my God.
I grew up riding saddlebred horses. He was an accomplished equestrian.
All right, we're
Okay.
done.
Who helped his friend train his everything horses. Or
Also,
eventing horses.
We don't.
Everything.
Everything. like
got
everything
It's an
bagel
everything
sandwich.
horse.
It's got that seasoning on it. I
It's
love
what's that? It's an everything horse.
I
He
don't
can
know.
do
Yeah,
everything.
he can pull a carriage.
He can do that fancy horse dancing. What's that? Yeah, he's an everything horse. He can do it
dressage,
all.
Isn't that what that's called?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. Sounds fancy. I have 2 kids. He has no children, but
Uh-oh.
he has opinions.
Oh,
Lots of opinions, like
course.
how I'm a bad mother because we sometimes don't get home from lessons until after 7. When he
After
felt
7.
they should be in bed.
7? That's speaking from somebody who has no kids
That's
for
exactly
sure.
fucking
Yeah,
right.
like I don't have kids, but I have
Sir.
little brothers, and I can tell you that shit.
Ain't 7.
No,
Never 7. Not even when they're like real. I mean, like maybe when they're like
Real
3
little.
or 2
Yeah.
or whatever.
One-uppers are such
the worst.
a pet peeve of mine
Yeah.
too, because it's
Yeah.
like, and
Oh.
and I've tried to be more graceful about it as I've gotten older, because I realize sometimes that is someone's way of connecting. Like
yeah.
I do that too, but it always, when they're always like that,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god,
The
that's
way-
the worst.
They're
The
also
way I
not listening
struggle.
to you. They're not listening to you to, like, they're listening to respond to you.
Right.
Like, they're
Right.
not listening to you, which is also just, like, aggravating.
The way I think I sent this to you guys. There was like it was like Aries, like the way I struggle between telling a story that's relevant to what you just told me, or just shutting my mouth and letting that. I'm always like, should I tell you something that I have in common with you, because then I feel like it's relevant, but then I'm also like, I don't want to steal your thunder at the same time. So I'm always, it's a battle that happens up here
But
all the time.
I think there's a difference because, like, we all do that sometimes. It's part of, like, communication and storytelling. Like, we want to find connections. So, like, everybody does that sometimes. And, like, I think that's fine. It's whenever you are deliberately taking something someone else said and saying, I did it better.
Yeah,
I'm better than you.
yeah,
That's when it's like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah.
ugh.
Oh my God, you would tell me if I did that, right?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, no, yeah, you do.
We're taking this opportunity
This is
right now.
actually right
This
now.
is an intervention. No, it's not.
Oh,
Okay.
no. Okay. While driving, I turned on the radio and a guy asked, what do you like to listen to? I said, I usually listen to NPR in the car. And he responded, oh, I heard they're a pretty good band.
Oh, Terry Gross on the bass.
Ira Glass on the keys.
But you know what? I actually have like a little bit of like sympathy for that person because that probably was in an effort to relate. Like poor guy like doesn't know what NPR is. We've all done that, right?
Wait,
when
Violent Femmes for sure. Before I listened to him and I wanted to be cool, I was like
oh,
13.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
great.
those ladies.
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah. So I'm just like, I'm like, yes, he should know what NPR is, but also if you didn't, we've all been there like nervous, and someone says they like something, and we're like, me too.
Me
yeah.
too. Oh, I love
They're
it.
great. They're amazing.
Nope, we've all done that for
almost went to that concert.
Okay, uno mas. The first date, it was so bad. It happened when I recently graduated from college. I was working and living in New York City and had agreed to meet a guy a few years older who had a job at a top IB. We had met a few weeks earlier at a New Year's Eve party, and he seemed like a great guy. I met him at the bar for happy hour. We were seated, and after the first drink, he told me he thought I had a great body.
Oh.
Okay.
I said, thanks, but was kind of flustered. Thanks. And then he told me that he was going to a bachelor party in a few weeks, and would I be interested in stripping? I first thought he was joking, so I said, your friends would want a refund. He was dead serious and threw out a number.
No.
I told him I had to think about it. Then I excused myself.
I have to think about it. How big? What was the number?
Yeah, like what's the number? How many people are gonna be there? Is there any way that any of them
No
know
flash
me?
photography.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna take everybody's cell phones on the way in.
You put them in those pouches like
Yeah.
they have at
Yeah.
like big comedy shows. You're like, okay.
You also have to like pay for security.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't come out of my cut.
Exactly. Then I excused myself and said, I have to go to the ladies' room. I then grabbed my purse and told him I'd be right back. And just walked out the back door where he would not see me.
Dude, what an inappropriate thing
That's
to
so
ask
fucking
somebody.
weird.
Like,
We're on a date. You want to strip for me and my friends?
I mean, it depends on that number.
But
I've been there, done that. I've stripped before. I mean, I'm
no, exactly. But
I ain't too
then
proud
it's
to-
like
no
it's like
shame in the game,
But
but
it's
it's like,
that shouldn't be as a
you
date.
could also, there are people who do that for a
Yeah.
job
yeah.
that
You
you
can
could
hire them.
hire.
Yeah.
It
true.
feels
You're
weird.
on a date with
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like
I
It's
love
weird
that.
and fetishy almost, like
Yeah.
to add, like your thing is getting people who don't strip to strip, which is like, because some people do that where
Yeah.
they're like,
I
and
don't
so
like
I'm like,
that.
I don't like that.
no,
I don't like that.
I don't like any of it. Ugh. Well,
Woof.
if you guys have terrible date stories, be they short or long, you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media podcast.